So I'm here at Milton Keynes, and this week's episode I thought I'd look through a recent tweet I put out, or a survey, and run through that. And that tweet was basically: should new EV owners or potential EV owners take a quick course in driving again, even a few hours by a dealer? So the reason for this is I recently went on a naughty driving course because I was caught speeding, not too much, but it's no excuse, and it got me thinking about EVs and generally when they're purchased or look to be purchased, what that user experience is. Now, anyone that's driven a EV for the first time will tell you about the instant torque. Teslas especially, but i3s and various other EVs, they've got instant torque, which means the difference in acceleration between that and an ICE car is significantly different. Anyone that's driven a sports car, for instance, for the first time, or a track day, will know what that torque is like between your normal day-to-day car and that sports car. So it got me thinking of whether we do enough, dealers do enough, or whatever, before you get into an EV. Should there be some sort of course, or like I said, at least a dealer? So I'm going to read through some of the tweets. So the percentage that we got back from people on Twitter, and thank you for everyone that responded to that, was 31% said yes and 69% said no. And there were some quite polarizing comments, and we'll go through each one and we'll have a look at what I think and what, maybe what the next steps are. So the first one was: most EVs no, but Model 3 performance is a lot quicker than most, and a whole new definition of instant torque. Everything can rise quicker. So obviously that particular one references a particular model, the Model 3, and anyone that's been in a Tesla or a Model 3 knows about that instant torque. So I think anything like that, or potentially like that, even if it's on an ICE car, you should at least have a test drive with a dealer or whoever's selling it to you, and that be explained to you before you get in the car. Next comment: if they're trading up from a Toyota UK hybrid to full EV, then yes. They'll be in awe of the silent drive and Starship-like speed. So yeah, indeed, if you're coming from an ICE car to a EV, there is a significant difference in speed and torque. Again, a lot of it's about the speed, but there's other comments I think around usability and charging etiquette, and we'll come to that in a minute. One said, to get the best from an EV, you do need to drive it differently. Not so much the extra power, but getting the best from regenerative brakes. Then a 2-month course on getting a charger to work. So, don't necessarily agree with the second part, although I agree with, again, an additional factor in EVs is regenerative braking. So getting power back and the way you drive changes. It certainly did for me, and I know it did for others, in that when you start driving an EV, the change in efficiency that you want to get, and range you want to get, and things like that, it's obviously got better in a lot of newer cars, but there's still some things that you need to learn. And one of the things, like you mentioned, around EVs and around charging, is exactly that. I think you should also have some sort of not necessarily course or training, but certainly someone to show you the ropes, essentially. And that's where the likes of places like the EV Experience in Milton Keynes, it falls, just comes into its own. They take people out in cars, they come to the charging hub, they teach you the basics and how things work and how easy it actually is. There's another one. This from, I suppose, more of a nicer dealer. When they hand over an EV sale, they give the customer a walkthrough of the features and how to use them, from preheats to charge delays, and during the test drive they show how the regen works and obviously how the torque works. So absolutely brilliant, and that is perfect, and that is exactly what we should be doing. So that's great. Another one: always take new owners out and show them how rapid charge works and how drive a different way to an ICE auto. Again, it must be noted these two come from EV dealerships, so specifically EV dealerships, so they obviously have the background and they know the things and they're in the EV community, not so much with even the mainstream manufacturers and dealers. See what else we've got here. If you can't control the speed of an automatic vehicle, then you shouldn't be driving at all. Yeah, I'm not sure I entirely agree with that, but obviously if you can't control a vehicle at all, then you shouldn't be driving, but it's more about the instant torque and speed. But good point. Then we've got, I think definitely a second handover should be an automatic part of the process. If a driver doesn't learn to modify their driving behaviour, they won't optimise range and achievable from the battery. So that's a good point. Again, it comes back to trying to get the most efficient range and everything out of that car. EVs are so much different than ICE cars and can be so much more efficient. It's really worth doing. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of these, but there were some really good ones. Some from kind of no they shouldn't to yes they should. I think the general consensus and the feeling from me is that they should at least have a initial drive of the EV. That's always good to get people in EVs, and it should also include a walk around the car, how to charge, how easy it is, where charging is, the use of Zap Map and plug share, and instant torque and the difference between an ICE car and an EV car. So anyway, it'd be good to let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and see you again very soon. Bye bye.